It up to Sasser. Sasser knows all he has to do is throw it up. Ausar will finish it.
I first saw the Pistons draft Ausar Thompson with the 5th pick. I was very surprised. It's not because I didn't trust how to scout Ausar Thompson and his brother Amin because they played an overtime elite. It's mainly because I saw them needing a true wing player, and I saw Ausar as a guard just from watching his film at OTE. But after watching him in Summer League and going back and watching the film that you guys will see in this video, I think the Pistons made the right pick, and I think he's going to fit perfectly alongside Cade, alongside Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, and the rest of this Pistons young core. He displayed a lot of qualities in Summer League that I think will translate right over to the real thing. So we're going to dive into the film. If you do enjoy this kind of content, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let's go ahead and jump into the film with Ausar Thompson's Summer League performance. The first thing that I want to talk about in Ausar Thompson's game is his defense. Here he's guarding another lottery pick, Grady Dick for the Toronto Raptors, and he had him in hell for this entire game. There's going to be a few highlights where Grady is either being guarded by Ausar or regarding Ausar on the defensive side of the floor. And there's going to be a few highlights. But this first play, Grady's going to catch it. Free throw line area right here. Ausar's going to do a great job of not biting on the pump fake and recovering to get the block. No bite there. Jumps, gets the block. Just a few minutes later, matchup again up top. Ausar's going to do a good job forcing him to the sideline, applying ball pressure, and uses his hands to get a deflection and force a fast break opportunity. You see getting through that screen, gets a deflection, and then this is the play that we see from the intro, catching the reverse lie, which is another part of his game, is that transition play that he does so well. Literally a possession later, pretty much the same thing, matched up on this right wing. Going to force him towards his sideline again. And one thing that I noticed from his Summer League play is his hands. He has really good hands on the defensive side of the floor, getting it still there. I really like this play. It shows the versatility. It kind of cut quickly, but it was a high ball screen action. The big man here is going to hedge a little bit and to allow Ausar to recover. And he does a great job recovering and forcing a tough angle. And Grady's going to get here and be forced to throw a tough lob pass, which Ausar we're going to see he's able to recover and get the block. See there, Big is taken out of the picture, but Ausar recovers, gets the block himself. We'll run that back one more time. See here, passes in the air. Ausar is still attached to Grady's body. The big is going to get kind of displaced and moved. I think this is Moses Brown right here. Get moved by Moses Brown. And Ausar is going to be the one to be able to recover. Completely leaves Grady. Great defensive awareness. Clean block. Now we're in a different game. Still defensive highlights though, man. Just the way that he uses his hands on this side of the floor. Right here, not really a big body screen, but he's still going to fight, get through it, recover, great hands, and that's going to lead to a breakaway opportunity where he gets fouled. Defensively, this is one of my favorite highlights. This is one of my favorite highlights. Close game here, 87-85. Detroit's down. This is a lottery pick, top 5 pick. Still playing super active defense, like he's fighting for a roster spot. 12 is going to try and throw an entry pass to Moses Brown down low, and Ausar is going to use his length, get a deflection. And then that's what he does afterwards, which I was really hyped about. Gets the board, and he's like, oh, I can push. I got that skill. I'm going to get to the bucket. I'm going to finish. It's a tie game. This is another really, really good play right here. He's attached to number 7. They're going to run a down screen, which is going to end up being a dribble handoff action. Gets through the first screen, gets through the second one, and look at that recovery right there. Got to run that back. Because the recovery on this play was just... the amount of space that was created right there by number 7 is a pretty significant amount of space, but look at the outstretched arms, the length, and he's able to get the block shot on a jumper in the mid-range. That's a tough play to make. Very tough play. Probably the best piece of film that he has from Summer League, man, because like I said earlier, this is a lottery top 5 pick. He doesn't really have any incentive to be out there playing with this much tenacity as he did. Jumper's going to go up right there from the wing. He's going to crash over 2 defenders and get the board, but it's after is what I was hyped about. First tip doesn't go in, gets the board again. Second effort, good defense, no good, gets the 3rd rebound. finishes, and one. And this is the next facet of his game, which really impressed me, which he's going to be in this role a lot more, playing with Cade Cunningham, with Jaden Ivey, where he's not going to always have the ball in his hands, so he has to find ways to impact the game without, having the ball in his hands for most of the possession, which he's probably been used to his entire life. Here, James Wiseman's going to put up a shot, and he's just going to crash and get the tip in. Simple stuff, but stuff that we're going to see him be able to do on the NBA level. Wiseman board right there. Not being stagnant, moving without the basketball, getting good position inside. Nice finish. Another one right here. I believe this is Sasser up top, Marcus Sasser, another first-round pick. He's already gathering. He's already getting the shot motion going. Ausar could just stay in the corner. There's already somebody down low. He could just stay in the corner, but instead, he decides, I'm going to crash. I'm going to try and create another extra possession or get a bucket myself. Crashes, gets inside. Ball goes right to him, but that's what happens when you put in the effort, when you just, continue moving even without the basketball. Really love his court awareness. This is the end of the quarter, 6.8 seconds left. He's cutting through the lane, but instead of just fading to the corner, as you can see, we're going to roll it real quick. Instead of fading to the corner, he sees his defenders leaving him. So if I just stay here right here, it's a layup at the end of the quarter. Cuts back, made the finish a little more tougher than it needed to be, but nonetheless 2 points. Then this play is another example of that. Ball gets back to the middle. Most guys, like in today's basketball, we are just known to fade to the corner, but instead, he stays in the paint, sees his defender doesn't follow him. It's an easy finish. This is what excites me the most, though, is him in the open court with Jaden Ivey. Obviously, Cade Cunningham not being out there, but these guys in the open court, I think it's going to be really fun to watch, mainly because I think Ausar can play as the guy leading the break. He can run the wings. He's such a good passer, athletic. He can finish himself. Like, him with Ivy and Cade is going to be very fun to watch in transition, which I think is just something that obviously Cade didn't play last year, but the Pistons definitely lacked. Just great two-man action, man. It's good to see these guys already getting the chemistry together. I really like this play right here. This was a secondary transition opportunity. Ausar catches it right here on the wing. And he realizes his defender's a little late getting out. He's going to be out of position. It's going to leave, a pretty clean lane. Defender does a good job recovering, but it's a tough finish with the offhand. I mentioned that Grady was getting the business from Ausar pretty much all game. And this was another example of it. End of the first half, one-on-one situation between these two. This is just bag talk, man. Bag talk. Couple tweens. Nice step back, and a great jumper. I liked his self-creation in Summer League from what I saw, especially like in semi-transition opportunities. Here he's just going to have a hit, seeing the defender a little bit out of position, and a nice floater. But getting to the basket in half-court settings, I really liked his ability to do that too. And him as like the third tertiary option on this team, I think he's going to have a lot of opportunities like late in the shot clock to create some offense for himself here. Come off the dribble handoff action. He's going to get to his right hand, and he's going to displace the defender with a strong move and a nice finish. I think one of the two big question marks was, one, how can you assess overtime elite film? And two, how's the jump shot going to translate? Obviously, definitely some work to do, but I feel like he will be able to develop. I like his form. I don't think like his form is bad. I think he'll be able to hit shots consistently, and he's going to get open looks playing with Cade and Jaden Ivey, and that was just a tough shot at the end of the clock. Very tough shot. Mentioned earlier, starting the break. Here, gets a board, already looking up court. He's not looking for anybody to pass it to. His eyes are forward, and it's going to be a beautiful outlet pass. That pass is on the money. On the money. I like this possession right here. You can see his defender, he's out of the frame. Not to be worried about. Got Sasser up top. I believe this is Ivy up here. James Wiseman here. And another Pistons player right there in the middle of the lane. Where do you guys think the ball should go, or is Ausar going to take the shot himself? Because there is only 5.5 seconds left in the game. Well, if your guess was the lob pass, you would be correct. There wasn't a lot of Wiseman stuff in here, but I liked how they got to get their chemistry together too, because Ausar was finding Wiseman for some nice plays like this one right here. And then him as just a third guy, man, bringing the ball up, which he might not even be asked to do as much playing with Cade and Ivy, but to have this guy as your third playmaker is going to be doing wonders, because if you just cut, like we see on this play, he's unselfish enough and he's such a good passer that he'll find you. And you'll get easy layups like this one. And then I mentioned Wiseman and his connection. I mean, this one-hand skip past to Wiseman was perfect. I think one thing I can say is I was already impressed watching Ausar Thompson live during Summer League. But going back on the film, I feel like I'm even more impressed. I'm even more excited to see him, Ivy, Cade Cunningham, Wiseman, Jalen Duren together. I feel like this is going to be a fun young core that could take a big step forward this season.